So around 9 years ago, I got my very first viral-ish video. It was a 30-minute long review of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. The video essay format was still fairly new on YouTube. I had just shelled out about $30 for what I felt was a rather subpar story. I had some video editing experience, and I figured, hey, if folks online can make long-form content breaking down their favorite movies, I can surely do it with whatever this thing was. So I wrote a script, grabbed a mic, fired up Adobe Premiere, and spent about a month putting together the very best video that I could. And after I finished the final frame, I threw it up on YouTube, and nothing happened. Nobody cared. I had poured everything I had into this video, and as far as I could tell, all that hard work would never be recognized. And even worse, I thought that my video about the Cursed Child was better than other Harry Potter content on YouTube that was getting watched. But no one would ever know this because no one would ever see it. I was a small YouTuber. Sure, I had what looked like a little over 2,000 subscribers, but most of those were dormant accounts, and as far as I could tell, there was nothing that I could do to get eyes on the thing that I had made. And for the next 11 weeks, that video remained stagnant, getting just a handful of views on and off with the occasional comment thrown into the mix. But then, in early November of that year, something weird started happening. I started getting email notifications from YouTube. People were subscribing to my channel. It started small, a dozen a day, then another dozen, then another. I checked the video and realized that it had slowly but surely climbed to 1,000 views, then 2,000, then 3. On November 3rd, the video finally cracked the 10,000 mark, and I went to bed that night with a huge smile on my face, thinking, this is as good as it gets. But then I woke up the next morning, and it was even better. My inbox was filled with YouTube notifications, hundreds, no, thousands of new subscribers. And I watched as my video went from 10,000 views to 25, then 50, then 100,000. The snowball had started rolling, and in what felt like no time at all, my video had crossed 1 million views. I was a YouTuber. It became what the kids these days call a legit side hustle. It has truly been one of the most exciting and fulfilling experiences of my entire life. But I can't quite shake the feeling that the most exciting moment of it all was waking up that early November morning and experiencing the first real moment of recognition for a video that I had made. And that experience happened for me the hard way. That first viral hit came 10 years into making videos on YouTube. I never got a shout out from a big YouTuber to make the climb easier. It happened only after hundreds of thousands of people slowly discovered my channel and my work organically. And that, to me, was maddening. So once I finally got my first taste of viral success, I had an idea. A series I would host that shouted out cool channels with less than 1,000 subscribers. I could create that incredible feeling for other small creators. I could give talented artists the shout out I never got. So around 2018, I started, and since that time, I've shouted out about 50 or so small channels. Since then, some of these creators have indeed gone on to great success, and I continue to get recommendations from folks for new channels to add to the list. But I think I'm done. Here's why. YouTube has changed a lot since I got my first viral video, with subscriptions becoming way less influential in YouTube's recommendation algorithm over time. Having a big subscriber count can indicate a channel's popularity, maybe, but the algorithm now prioritizes viewer engagement metrics like watch time, click-through rates, and user satisfaction. This shift means that channels, even with small subscriber counts, can still get significant visibility profitability as long as the content effectively engages the viewers that they do have. I have hovered around 1.3, 1.4 million subscribers for years now, and you might think that that means that I'm like set for life, right? No, that is not the case. These days on YouTube, a channel with only a few thousand subscribers can make a video that gets millions of views, while a channel with over 1 million subs can make something that performs, by comparison, poorly. Why is this possible? Because, say it with me, subscriber counts don't matter. Don't believe me? Open up your YouTube app. You are first presented not with channels you're subscribed to, but rather an algorithmically generated recommendation feed, where YouTube takes a look at all the stuff that you watched during your last session and then formulates a list of stuff that they think that you'll want to watch during this session. Currently, this is primarily driven by things like Shorts, which account for a huge chunk of how users these days stay on the platform. Here's an example of how this works. I'm just now opening up the YouTube app on my phone, and you can see that the first thing that I am presented with is a short from financial advisor Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey's Shorts game, by the way, top-notch. His team posts highly rewatchable and bingeable clips from his long-form show that are genetically engineered to function like financial car crashes you cannot turn away from.
We have probably just under $1 million in debt, and we want to know how to get debt-free without filing bankruptcy.
Okay, so what in the world? Credit cards, stupid. Student loans, stupid. Somebody ought to smack you.
Every single clip is a new debt-filled horror story in which the various hosts offer radical lifestyle advice for the caller in question, and by proxy, you as the viewer. These videos are purposefully crafted so that whether you love Dave Ramsey or you hate Dave Ramsey, you cannot stop watching. And because there's just so many of them, you can do so for hours. This is by design. His social media team knows that YouTube sees all of that activity, how often you fall down that rabbit hole. And because to YouTube all watch time is good watch time, they will just give you more of that. That is what happened to me. I binged a bunch of Dave Ramsey clips last night, and so today I opened the app and the recommendation feed is going to offer me more. Here's my point though. I am not subscribed to Dave Ramsey. I don't want to watch Dave Ramsey, but I probably will watch more Dave Ramsey because opening the app gives me more Dave Ramsey right away instead of what I want to watch, because on YouTube, your subscriptions don't matter. Being in a person's recommendations does. Here's how this looks on the back end, by the way. Let's take a look at one of my recent videos, for instance. I've got 1.4 million subscribers. That's too big to fail, right? If we come over here and take a look at the traffic sources, guess how many views came from folks' subscriptions feeds? It ain't 1.4 million. If you are an aspiring YouTuber, why are you wasting your time obsessing over this metric? The subscriber count these days is nothing more than a vanity metric. It's no indicator of a single video's quality, nor a channel's active audience size, because if your channel sticks around for long enough, a huge chunk of your subs are going to be dormant accounts or people who have moved on to a different kind of content and don't want to take the time to comb through their old subscriptions and get rid of them, or they have some kind of like sentimental reason for keeping the subscription in their system. I personally hold the view, this is going to be a bit controversial, that YouTube should just sunset the subscriber feature on the channel altogether, seeing as how definitionally a subscriber is one who receives a publication regularly in advance of others, which is not what happens on YouTube anymore. It sounds weird to say, but not all traffic is good traffic. When someone subscribes to a small channel just to show support and then doesn't interact with that channel again, it can actually hurt more than it helps. Let's think about this from the perspective of someone named Barry. Barry runs a hypothetical, cozy little Lego channel. He's passionate about building custom sets, reviewing rare collections. Maybe he even does stop-motion animations. Maybe he's like the Tarantino of Lego videos. I don't know. Point is, he's not in it for the money or the fame. He just loves sharing his hobby with a small but loyal group of fellow LEGO enthusiasts. But then one day, I stumble across his videos. I think that it's awesome. I think that he needs more attention, and so I decide to give him a shout out. Suddenly, Barry wakes up to hundreds, maybe even thousands of new subscribers. His channel's numbers are climbing in a way that they have never done before, and he is ecstatic. This is the kind of moment that creators dream about, the kind of moment that I wanted to share, this rush of validation that all the hours that he has spent filming, editing, and building tiny little LEGO masterpieces were all worth it. From Barry's perspective, this might feel like his big break. So, overwhelmed with gratitude, what does Barry do but make a thank you video? It's a quick one-shot vlog where he thanks me and he thanks all of his new subscribers and lets them know that he appreciates them. And here is where the trouble starts, because you, one of these new subscribers, probably aren't going to click on that thank you video. You subscribed to Barry because I asked you to subscribe to Barry, but honestly, you're not really into any of that LEGO stuff. You were just trying to show support. Maybe you watched the video that I shouted out, but you're not going to stick around and watch the thank you video and keep up with this guy all the time. And it's not like other people on the platform are going to watch that video either, because unless you already have the context, who is going to click on this? Now multiply that response by hundreds or thousands of people. New subscribers that almost none of them are engaging with his latest upload. YouTube's recommendation algorithm notices this. It starts to think, wait a minute, those subscribers aren't sticking around. Maybe this channel isn't actually as good as it seemed. And so YouTube's recommendation algorithm shows Barry's videos less and less. Even his original audience before my shout out might start seeing Barry's videos less often because the algorithm has now deprioritized his content. That stinks. But imagine how bad it feels for Barry. He's got this incredible burst of attention, but just as quickly he's seeing a sharp drop off because that thank you video didn't perform well. His next video, a LEGO animation, also gets less engagement than he expected because many of those new subscribers are not coming back. It's easy to see how that would be absolutely demoralizing. Barry might start questioning himself. Was I not good enough? Did I do something wrong? He didn't. I did. It was me, Barry. I artificially inflated your audience size. Barry's channel is still the same passionate LEGO content that it always was, but the algorithm isn't judging videos based on passion or creativity. It judges based on performance metrics. Remember that from YouTube's perspective, the goal is just to recommend videos that people are more likely to watch for a really long time. If new subscribers are not engaging with your content, the algorithm assumes that it is not worth recommending, even to the creator's existing audience. So while a shout out might seem like a great way to help a small channel, it can unintentionally send signals that the content is not resonating. For a smaller channel who is just now starting to build an audience, even a minor drop can be catastrophic. I'm becoming more and more convinced that the best way to help creators like Barry is not to flood their channel with subscribers who might not even stick around. It's to genuinely engage with their content, to share their work with people who would love it, and let their audience grow organically. Because that organic growth builds the kind of connection and loyalty that no algorithm can take away. As frustrating as it sounds, sometimes it's better to let creators find their audience naturally, even if it takes a very long time, because that's the kind of growth that lasts. Let's say the best scenario happens though, and Barry is able to hold on to his audience. now he's got a new problem, because now Barry suddenly feels the weight of expectations. His small, cozy channel that once served as a passion project has now attracted hundreds, maybe even tens of thousands of new eyeballs, and Barry knows that they are all waiting to see what he does next. Will they love his next upload as much as the one that got them here? Will he disappoint them? Is this his one chance to make it? The pressure builds fast. Barry might feel compelled to upload as soon as possible, to try and make flashier videos, to come up with ideas that appeal to a new, broad audience. But maybe, just maybe, in his heart of hearts, Barry realizes that he doesn't really want to play with Lego blocks to entertain others. He wants to do it for himself. Maybe Barry's favorite thing to do is spend weeks designing intricate stop-motion Lego animations because that's his hobby. Barry started his channel out of a love for Lego. It was his creative outlet, a way to connect with others occasionally, sure, and share his passion, but maybe he was just in it because it was fun. But now, that passion of his feels like a responsibility. He's not just building his Legos now. Now he's managing an audience. Now he's trying to grow a channel. And maybe, just maybe, the thing that once brought him joy is now becoming his greatest source of stress. Barry might feel like he's now stuck in a race that he didn't sign up for, constantly trying to meet the expectations of people who only know he exists because of something I did. My shout-out, intended to be something positive, can cause someone to spiral into self-doubt and burnout. This isn't just a hypothetical. For every channel that I have shouted out over the years that has found success, there are way more that went nowhere or have just closed up shop because I unintentionally turned their passion into a pressure cooker. One of the creators that I shouted out many years ago, who has since stopped uploading videos altogether, when I talked to them, told me the shout out that I gave them was simultaneously the best moment of their life and the worst thing that ever happened to them. Because after the shout out, they felt constant pressure to make sure that it seemed like they were deserving of it. Their mental health suffered greatly because of that pressure to perform. And in that way, something that I thought would be helpful for an artist was the catalyst that stripped that artist's joy away. So yeah. Okay, something a little less depressing. I am perpetually terrified that I will accidentally shout out someone who turns out to be a total psychopath. I try to make this abundantly clear. Whenever I highlight a channel, it's because I found something that they made interesting or unique. I have not vetted every single piece of content that that person has ever made, or their personal views or opinions. Obviously. Right? But not everybody is capable of understanding such nuance, and so we all know of instances where shoutouts were taken as full endorsements of a creator's behavior, past, present, or future. I guess this needs to be said. Just because you may agree with a statement that a particular author might write in a book does not mean that you agree with all of the content in that book, or the opinions that that author thinks about things other than the thing that you liked. Maybe I shouted out Barry because I watched a couple of his Lego shorts and thought to myself, that was pretty cool. That does not mean that I agree with something controversial that Barry tweeted when he was a 14-year-old. Let's say that Barry falls down a weird rabbit hole of puppy-kicking extremists 5 years after I shout him out. That doesn't mean I approve of his puppy-kicking. Obviously. Again, most people understand that, but you know something? A lot of people don't. Some people even if it's in bad faith, will always consider shoutouts as endorsements. That whenever I shout out a channel, I'm putting them in front of an audience that trusts me, and that said trust is a privilege, and that it comes with responsibility. And even though they would never apply that same logical standard to themselves, they'll apply it to me anyway. And in that way, shoutouts can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, they can be a fantastic way to introduce deserving creators to a wider audience, and on the other, they come with risks that aren't always obvious at first glance. For the creator, it's the risk of sudden scrutiny and heightened expectations. For me, it's the risk of being tied to someone else's actions or opinions that I can't control. That's one of the reasons why I have become more hesitant to do shoutouts. It's not because I don't want to support smaller creators, I absolutely do, but recommending someone's work can feel, on occasion, like you're walking a tightrope. And yet, in the complex world of online content, who knows? So to help smaller creators, I've tried to find some good alternatives. One of the best ways I've found is collaborations. If I find someone whose talent and work genuinely resonates with me, I reach out and try and work with them in a way that showcases their skills in the very best context. Great example, my Super Zeros series. I stumbled upon a small creator, Spiky Tortoise, who was making really cool stuff, but not getting as much attention as I felt he deserved. I hired him. We put together a TV pilot, and now we're in the middle of making a feature-length movie together. Artists who I find talented, I do my best, when I'm able, to hire them and work with them on projects that play to their strengths. Writers, editors, same thing. And hey, sometimes I work with smaller creators on YouTube and we make awesome stuff, and I don't even let them put my name in the credits. I've learned over the years that sometimes the best way I can help a small creator isn't public at all. Maybe I reach out to them personally and offer guidance or advice behind the scenes that can have just as big an impact and help them grow their own audience and talent organically. If you stumble across a small channel that makes cool stuff, you should support them in ways that actually help them. Don't just do a sub and done. Actually help them. Watch all the videos that they make whenever they post them. Donate to them if they have a Patreon or a crowdfund. Buy merchandise if they offer it. Spread the word about their channel to other people. Because ultimately, the best way to help a small creator is to help them find an audience that actually will truly appreciate the things that they make. Helping talented creators grow in a way that is meaningful, is sustainable, and is true to who they are. So here's the truth. I am not doing small channel shoutouts anymore because I am personally no longer convinced that doing them actually helps those small channels. If you are a smaller creator, keep doing what you love. Focus on finding your people, not just 1,000 random eyeballs, and don't let the numbers define your worth. To everyone else, when you find a creator whose work speaks to you, you should support them, but support them in ways that truly make a difference. The internet is weird. Things change all the time. Who knows what my attitude is going to be in the future? But this is where I'm at right now. Maybe you're watching this and you don't want to be a big YouTube star, but you have other creative pursuits that need an online home. Why not try this video's sponsor, Squarespace? They can help you put together a beautifully designed website in no time thanks to their all-new design intelligence, giving you access to easy-to-use tools so you can build a site that feels uniquely you, no coding required. Whether you're showcasing your art, story, or business, your vision will shine. Like if you want to start your own podcast, Squarespace has you covered with audio blocks. Plus, you can sell stuff from courses and videos to music or memberships. You can start a free trial today by going to squarespace.com. If you like the experience, and I personally think that you will, then whenever you're ready to launch your site in full, head over to squarespace.com/Austin McConnell, and you can save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain.